If you're just getting started with HighLevel, you're probably most excited about jumping into automations and workflows. Some combination of automations and integrations is typically what draws people to the platform in the first place. However, in my opinion, that fundamentally ignores one of the most important pieces of the platform, which is contact management. What makes HighLevel so valuable is that for the first time, a small business owner can market their business, manage their entire marketing for their business, and do things better and more dialed in than they've ever been able to do from one software platform. But in order to make this effective, it all starts with contact management. It all starts with database management. Most business owners have not been in a position to be able to invest in enough different ways of marketing their business that it was worth them centralizing all of their data, centralizing all of their contacts into one location. However, HighLevel makes that not only possible, but it makes it a necessity. It makes it silly not to do that. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into contacts and we're going to explore every nook and cranny of the contacts module in HighLevel and what you can do with it so that you've got a good foundation for when you start going into the more advanced automations and marketing features of the platform. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into contacts in HighLevel. All right, guys, so we are inside of contacts in HighLevel. You'll notice contacts here on the left-hand side. Smart lists should be your default view when you go here. We'll go over what smart lists are here in a few minutes, but for right now, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about custom fields and the organization of custom fields. This is a pretty basic feature for a lot of CRMs. I wouldn't consider HighLevel a CRM. You'll hear me refer to it. It's because HighLevel can replace your CRM. However, it is not a CRM. It is an all-in-one sales and marketing platform. There are some advanced things that advanced CRMs cannot do that I'm not going to claim HighLevel can do, but for most businesses, it can replace their CRM. So with that clarified, let's dive into custom fields. You can access it in one of two ways. As you just saw, you can either click the settings gear inside of contacts to access it, or you can also click settings on the lower left-hand corner there and scroll to custom fields and access them there. Now, when you get to custom fields, you're actually going to be able to access all of your fields, and it's not immediately obvious which ones are custom and which ones aren't. Obviously, the first time that you log in here, it's all going to be ones that aren't custom fields, ones that come by default. Now, from my experience, you cannot delete the ones that come by default. However, you do have this deleted fields, deleted fields tab over here, and if you click on it, it says you can view deleted custom fields on the audit logs page here. Not exactly sure what's going on because, again, if I go to one of the fields that come by default, for example, contact source, if I go to delete that, it doesn't even let me delete it. So again, I'm not sure what that folder is over here. Again, if you are logging into HighLevel for the first time, all you're going to see are fields that come by default, so you don't need to worry about deleting any of those, but you can organize them in any way that you want. You can move the fields, even the standard fields, into other folders, and so you can use this as a way to organize and kind of avoid looking at fields that you don't use very often. For example, we don't use date of birth, we don't use address really a lot, and so we put these in folders that we end up hiding, not really hiding, but we end up pushing them to the bottom of our list of folders so that when we look at our contacts, those ones aren't crowding up our view. We can see the information that's important to us quickly. That leads us into folders for custom fields. Obviously, you can see these here. You can organize custom fields any way that you want to. Custom fields are available at the opportunity level and at the contact level. For purposes of this video, we're just going to talk about contact, but when you see this select object, that's what it's referring to, is the ability to create custom fields at the opportunity level. This is a video about contacts though, so we'll keep it limited to that. Again, these folders are super easy to make. Once you make them, they're super easy to use to organize your custom fields. I can move them. I can come in here, I can select what folder I want to move them to and move them over there fairly easily. Why would I want to do that? Because it's going to improve the organization of my contact. This is my list of contacts here. The organization of the contact is important in this view. This is where if I can check this box, hide empty fields, and that'll simplify things a lot. But you can see where the folders are represented here and why you would want to make sure the information that you want to see quickly would be organized in the folders accordingly, probably in the contact section. And you can put as many custom fields inside that contact section as you want, and then push down as far as you want to any of the more obscure custom fields that you're collecting for campaign specific marketing or whatever, really super fine segmentation. Speaking of segmentation, let's go in here and see how we can use the custom fields that we created other than looking at them inside of the contact. Most people don't know about this until long after they've been using HighLevel, so you're welcome for this piece of information. When you get into contacts, you have the ability to change what you see in your contact view by adding columns or removing columns. So if you just don't use tags very much, or you don't care to see the phone number while you're going through certain pieces of data or certain reports or whatever, you can uncheck those, and then you can come in and you can add source. I can come in and I can add what products did they inquire on, whatever it is that I want to add in here to visualize. I think tags was already, oh, did I uncheck tags? All right, so let's go in here and let's recheck tags, and let's say we want to look at time zone too. Okay. All right, so this gets weird for a second, so pay attention. In order to save this set of columns, I have to save it in what's called a smart list. A smart list is technically a set of filters, and you can't save a smart list that doesn't have any filters, and so you might have to game the system a little bit here and come in here and say a field that you don't ever use. For example, we don't ever use, let's go, birth date. We don't ever use birth date. So we're going to say birth date is empty, and that's going to show us all of our records. Okay? In order to save this set of columns, I need to go like this, and I need to say, right, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say all leads or all contacts, custom columns. Now I can access this view. But I had to game it because I can't, if I come over here now, if I go to all now, you'll notice my columns, my custom columns are gone. Okay, so I can't save this set of custom columns unless I also save a filter with it, which is why I tried to find a filter that didn't actually change my set of columns so that I could save that custom set of columns. So that's a little hack for you. I'm sorry if that derailed the conversation a little bit or confused you at all, but that does give us a good segue into smart lists. What are smart lists? You just got a taste of it. It is a saved set of filters, but showing you with some real data. If we go down here, I'm going to click on one of my existing smart lists. Now, when you first start in HighLevel, you're going to have none of these across the top. These are all these custom smart lists, these custom sets of filters that we've saved in our account over time. So if I click on this, you'll notice my filters over here, my number of filters goes from 0 to 2. If I go back to all, it's 0. If I go back over here, it's 2. Why? Because this is a saved set of filters. This one in particular represents anybody that we've done a strategy call with and has not opted out of our email list. Why? So that we can market to them, obviously. So this is saved as a smart list. I can come in here, I can customize, add a new filter. And let's say last name is not empty for whatever reason, right? Go in there, yay. And I can save it as a new smart list if I want to, or I can undo whatever I haven't saved and go back to the original smart list here. Smart lists are a really cool, really powerful functionality. In a lot of other marketing automation platforms, you have to manage a list, which ultimately it sounds the same, right? Smart list versus a list. The difference is that with a list, you have to manage whether or not somebody is still a member of that list, whether or not somebody is still in the category belonging to that list. So for example, let's say I wanted a list of anybody who has done a strategy call with us in the last 30 days. Well, in order to do that with the traditional list system, I would have to have a system of removing people from that list as their demo date, as their date of last demo or date of last strategy call, as that gets outside of 30 days, so once it's past a month, I would have to remove them from that list. With smart lists, as long as I set my parameters up, my filters up properly, it will automatically do that for me. As people's most recent demo falls out of being a month or earlier, it will fall out of this list automatically, and I don't have to keep inventory of that. That is the power of smart lists. For those of you guys that have managed email marketing and list segmentation before, this is really, really powerful. All right, so what else can we do with contacts? First off, just going on the tabs from right to left here, right? We came over here, we looked at your custom fields. We didn't talk about companies. We don't use companies a lot yet, but companies are just a way of being able to group your contacts. We don't use it a lot because most of our interactions with our clients are independent of their company, and it doesn't really matter what company they belong to, and so we just don't use this as a method of organizing our contacts. However, it is there and available to you. Heading over here on the right-hand side, though, what we do use, obviously, as you can tell right here, we use activity logging. How do we use activity logging? Well, we use HighLevel for hosting our website, which makes it really easy for HighLevel to track what our contacts are doing when they're doing it. The minute that somebody becomes a contact with us, then they are going to have cookies in their browser, as long as they consent to them, obviously, that are going to allow us to track them when they come back onto our site, as well as when we email them stuff, it'll track that the links within that email so that we can track whether or not they click on it, and then associates that browsing session to them. So really cool functionality if you're using their sites as well. If you're not using their sites, they also have funnels, which are a way to create lead generation, just landing pages that you definitely should be using if you're not using them for your whole website. And again, you're going to be able to track them across your funnel and track their progress through different through your site, through your funnel, through this activity log right here. So we really like this. This also represents attribution as well. So if I can find another example in here, we'll come in here and we'll look. Referral. Okay, it's maybe that was the same one. Hold on, let's try again. Let's up here. Okay, perfect. So this also represents attribution as well. So you can see here we run paid ads, and so we use UTM parameters and all that. Well, this is going to track all that information. As long as we send them to a HighLevel survey, have them fill out that survey and import them into here, then we can track where they came from and then their journey throughout the entire sales process in this activity log here. Next, we have tasks and notes. Neither of these are really anything special for HighLevel. There's not really anything that makes them unique. Notes obviously are not super visible. So I've seen in some CRM platforms how they have a notes section that just lives in the contact area over here, or lives somewhere super in your face. That is not the case here. You have to go to the notes tab, and then as you add notes, you're adding new notes. You can edit previous notes, but that's not the native the native functionality is for you to have one note section that you go in and just consistently update. Personally, I prefer it this way, but I know of other CRMs that do it differently, so I wanted to call that out here. Appointment. This is going to be super valuable to you as you start to use the calendar functionality inside of HighLevel. Again, I've said this before, HighLevel has everything. One of the things that it's going to have for you is a calendar, a scheduling functionality that allows you to replace tools like Acuity Scheduling, tools like Calendly. You know what I'm talking about, the ones where you can send a link and it's linked to your availability, and that makes it so that you don't have to do the awkward back and forth of are you available then? No, I'm not. How about net then? Nope, I'm not. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So once you start leveraging that, all of those appointments get logged inside of here. We also use that functionality for scheduling calls on our salespeople's calendars. So strategy calls are our call to action on our website, and so when people book, they are booking directly on the calendar, and that's going to get logged in this appointment section. Lastly, documents. Documents is a really cool functionality that just came out in the last couple months for HighLevel as of it's October of 2023. So it came out sometime late summer, late August, early September, I believe. Really cool functionality that now allows you to do exactly what it sounds like, which is upload documents associated with your contact, and then keep a repository of those, basically be able to organize those into different folders, etc. So think contracts, right? HighLevel is moving towards being able to allow you to do like a DocuSign style contract execution, right? So think being able to log things like that, accepting proposals, estimates, sending details, you know, the works, right? Whatever you can think of to store as it's related to your contact, you can do with document upload. Really cool functionality that, again, they just added a couple months ago. Okay, so you guys will see these two buttons over here above these tabs. Ignore those. Those are unique to us and our HighLevel instance. They're actually custom coded in there. And if you want to learn more about that, feel free to hit me up, but definitely not within the scope of this video. But going across the tabs here so that we can look at these and make sure that we cover everything in contacts. Bulk actions, this is a log essentially. This is going to allow you to see a log of all of the bulk actions that have been completed. So whether it's deleting, whether it's tagging, whether it's adding to an automation, sending text messages, emails. If you have other people working inside of HighLevel on your behalf, or you just forget what you do, this is a really cool tool to be able to allow you to see exactly what mass communications are going out of your HighLevel account. Restore any of those contacts that I deleted. I have the ability to restore them. I don't know how long they log these to keep these. Maybe they keep them in there forever. I don't know. Obviously, they got a lot of requests from people asking them to restore contacts for them. So you have this ability now over here if you ever want to. Tasks is going to allow you to see all of your tasks for all of your contacts grouped in one log, one view. Company, we went over that. This is, again, same sort of thing, except for in one view. So here you can see the companies grouped together. Again, that doesn't really benefit us with our clients, so we don't use that feature right now, but you can do that there. Manage smart lists. Now, this is where you can share smart lists with other users in your account. If you are the only user in your account, this is not going to be super valuable for you. However, at the point that you start adding other users to the account, you need to know that by default, when you create a smart list, it does not share that with everybody automatically. By default, it will not share that with people automatically. You need to go in after you create that smart list, go to Manage Smart Lists, and come in here and share by pressing that little share button and saying, do you want to share it with all the users, or do you want to share it with users individually, right? I'm going to go ahead and do that with these. Boom. Okay. And so from here, we can click on Smart Lists, and that'll take us all the way back to our contacts. All right, guys, there you have it. There is Contacts 101 for HighLevel, or an overview, a high-level overview of contacts inside of HighLevel. Guys, do not sleep on this feature. Do not underestimate the power of contacts. Make sure that you understand everything I went through in this video inside and out in order to get the most out of the system. Next up, we'll probably be going over either automations or conversations somewhere in there. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you at the top.